someone who didn't like the zucchini, you've certainly done a good job.
Well, hunger does odd things to a man, like making him eat food he otherwise would scoff at.
Let's just hope the main course is just as good.
You're having the duck, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ah, the orange sauce is out of this world.
Oh, good.
Oh, order it often, do you?
No, I do, and he spends the evening stealing bites.
I generally order the scampi.
Sounds like you eat here quite often.
About twice a week.
Grant and I should eat here more often. I just wish he was here now. Ah, remember what I told you? He's probably bumped into 7 more cases.
He'll be back as soon as he can, I'm sure.
Well, meanwhile, if you're not going to eat that zucchini...
Edward!
Well, it's a shame for it to go to waste.
It'd be more of a shame if you just lost all your manners altogether.
Well, they don't mind, do you? There, you see? I'm not the only one who worries about the poor starving children in China.
Have another martini, Edward.
I think I will. Waiter.
Oh, I'm going to the ladies' room.
Well, if you run into a waiter on the way, would you please send him over here?
This guy's walking his dog, and as he's walking his dog down the street,
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
you're going to miss the punchline.
I've heard it 4 times. One for every time I've heard the joke.
But you haven't heard me tell it.
Holly, hi. Look, I have to warn you.
Oh, I know. Mushrooms in the zucchini, right?
I'm sorry?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You said you have to warn me about something.
Yeah, it's essential that we don't know each other.
Essential to what?
To Dr. Gerald's protection. We've got to always act like strangers in front of everybody.
No, I already knew that. Robert told me.
You did?
Yes, and I promised not to tell anyone.
It really is important. Look, no matter how close you are to someone, you can't tell them. Now, as for Luke, I don't know how you feel about it.
Luke's business is his, and yours is yours, and it's all irrelevant to me. So, excuse me, I'm going to the ladies' room.
Excuse me, love. You wouldn't have a dime on you, would you?
Paper right?
Yeah, I guess so. I want to call Gerald. I want to do it from the table, just in case there's a spot of trouble.
Why didn't I think of that? Hello? Oh, yes, Robert. Everything is fine. Yes. I'm just waiting until the pill is taken full effect, and I'll be on my way. Oh, yes, much better, thank you. I'll be there shortly. Bye.
Sold on that duck.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, rarely have I had it so tender.
And the sauce is just wonderful.
Celia, you haven't touched your food.
Well, I'm just not very hungry. Translated, meaning we're worried about Grant? Well, he would have called if he was going to be this long. No, not necessarily. If he had to go into surgery, there are no phones in OR. But Chris's hand was much better. Oh, well, that has nothing to do with it. It's a very delicate situation and anything could happen. But someone would have called, wouldn't they? No, not unless Grant told them to call, and if he was in a hurry, he barely had time to scrub, let alone make a phone call to us.
Well, why don't we order dessert and coffee while we're waiting, huh?
What do you mean? You're not having another martini?
After dinner? Never. Brandy has a nice ring to it, though.
Good thing you're driving, Monica.
I hadn't planned on it, but now I am.
Look, I didn't know you were a man of such jokes. My whole life has been a joke. I haven't had a chance to run my material by you, though.
Oh, and this, Mr. Rock, is one of the last great senses of humor.
Him and her.
Oh, runs in the family, does it?
One of my brother's finer qualities.
Thank you, darling. I've always felt that a sense of humor will get you through. I mean, you can't take life too seriously. If you do, you're dead, right?
I'll drink to that.
And another toast to the Greenwood Building, future home of Port Charles' first casino.
First casino in a long while, at least.
Don't forget, that's what it was originally.
Okay, to the first casino of this century.
Okay, I'll drink to that.
There you go, right.
And while we are at it, to success and happiness and lots of money.
Ooh, yeah, especially the money part. Lots of money.
Well, I didn't know you were interested in that. I thought it was only women.
Women, money, Italian shoes, and uncovering archaeological sites. Whatever.
Well, I can tell you, see, having two doctors in the family, I know how difficult it can be.
Excuse me, Edward. Since when have Alan and I been an inconvenience to you?
Oh, the missed dinners, the ruined parties. How about that time at the club that Alan was supposed to make the keynote speech and I had to do it because he was called away?
I heard you were wonderful.
Yeah, well, that was only because I had no choice. It was either that or be blackballed back to the YMCA.
Well, if he doesn't get back very soon, we're going to miss our plane.
You plane?
What plane? Well, didn't you know we're leaving for Chile tonight? And we had planned to be done with our dinner and at the airport in plenty of time, but I'm not so sure anymore. Can I make a suggestion? Why don't you call the hospital?
Let me do it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's a good idea. Waiter, could we have a telephone at the table, please?
Of course, sir.
Edward, look, you realize this is the first time you've gotten a waiter's attention?
How about that? Usually, like wives, they're only around when you don't want them.
Here you are, sir.
Oh, it's for him.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to make the call.
No, please, let me do it, please.
Please.
Main desk, Mrs. Brewer.
Robert Scorpio here, Jesse. Look, I'm trying to locate Dr. Putnam.
Dr. Putnam, the last time I saw him, he was with Natalie.
Well, look, could you maybe page him or ring his office?
I can do better than that for you. Natalie, here she is right now. Hold on. Robert Scorpio.
For me? Are you sure?